Let's talk BYU defense. Jernaro Gilford has been at BYU for quite a while now and has been, quite frankly, I think one of the more underrated coaches for BYU overall. There is a reason why when BYU cleaned house with the defensive staff 2 off seasons ago, Jernaro was the only coach retained. He's an elite recruiter. He connects well with his players. And the final thing is he knows how to get the best out of his guys. He's got to prove it more than I think a lot of the seasons in the recent past for BYU with cornerbacks that are on the roster for BYU, plentiful in numbers, but a little bit short on experience outside of Jakob Robinson. So what is Coach G, as a lot of people like to call him, what is he expecting from BYU's cornerbacks? But more importantly, what does he expect to see from Southern Illinois on Saturday night? Well, he'll tell you coming up right now, right here on Locked On Cougars.
How good does it feel to finally be, it's game week, you have a game this Saturday?
Yeah. Oh, man, I can't even, I'm excited. I'm too excited just to know that we finally get to face somebody else after facing our wideouts for the last, what has been, 8 months, since spring ball and all the off season and stuff like that. So it's finally time to face somebody else. So.
When it gets to this time of the year, I know that you were a player, obviously. Does it change at all as a coach? Do you have the same anticipation?
I do.
Okay.
Like, personally, yeah. I still get the feeling like I'm a player. I'm like, okay, we got, 3 or 4 days away?
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm absolutely excited.
You're counting it down, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
Now, obviously it's an FCS game, Southern Illinois, but they've got a very strong reputation. They had a good run in the playoffs a season ago. Can you tell me what you know about them, what you see on film?
Oh, man, FCS, a powerhouse. They've won three out of the last 4 FBS games.
Yeah.
So and coaching at the FCS level, I know how those kids are going to prepare. I know what the coaches are telling them. So they'll be fired up, ready to play. They beat Northern Illinois last year.
Yes.
They went into
Big
Ten country and beat Northwestern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So definitely not a slouch. Definitely a great team, and we'll have our hands full for sure.
How many conversations have you guys had with the guys about the fact that they've had success against your level of competition?
Oh, every single day.
Okay.
Every single day. The guys know, and it's been a blessing and a privilege that guys like myself, Fessy, Jay, Coach Enna, Kalani, A-Rod, we've all been at the FCS level.
Yeah.
So that's a blessing because now the guys know how we talk to our players then to get up for this big game. Just to kind of tell those guys, man, if you play good or if you get a win, this puts us on the map. National game against BYU in a 65,000 seat stadium. It's nothing better as far as that goes.
Now, I know that Jacob's kind of established himself on one side of this. The depth chart shows an or between Marque Collins and Mory Bamba. Is that going to be a legitimate rotation on Saturday between those two?
Yeah, those two have been going back and forth for a while. So that's the plan, to play them both, play them all, and just let them go.
Okay.
Let them do their thing.
Now, Jacob's a guy that named team captain this year. He's really come into his own, it feels like, and talking with him. You can tell he's very confident. Where have you seen the most growth from him individually?
Just maturity.
Okay.
Being more of a vocal leader because he's naturally quiet by nature,
yeah.
But he leads by example. You know what I'm saying? But now he's forced to be more vocal and talk more because he's one of my 2 seniors. Him and Mark. So the way he watches film, the way he holds everybody else accountable. So those are just some things that he's worked on as far as the offseason, and it's paid big dividends for him.
Most BYU fans probably don't know much about Mark, obviously coming in from Weber State and having dealt with the injuries he's dealt with. What can you tell us about him as a player?
A pure corner,
Okay.
Very, very high IQ guy. Just like all the other guys that we got from Weber that's been under Jay for 4 years, all those guys coming here with the high IQ, and that's kudos to Coach Jay, how he gets guys prepared, how he coaches, the way he teaches them concepts and all that stuff. So kudos to Jay and all those guys at Weber for absolutely getting them ready. I can't take the credit for what he's done, before. Absolute baller, a guy who has ball skills, not afraid to mix it up. So I'm definitely excited to see him play Saturday.
How far has Mory come this essentially summer/training camp?
Oh, night and day, man. Just as far as size, speed, a feel for the game. And I think for him, it was a blessing for him to actually graduate, because now he don't have to worry about school as much. And if you know his mom, it's all about academics. So that was something that was heavy on him. And he majored in business. Okay. So everybody who knows BYU, you know, business it's no slouch here. So he had to kind of go through all that, and it's been a blessing ever since he's done and walked the stage. He's been able to focus more on football now. So I think that was the drastic change in everything.
Now, Evan Johnson's name keeps popping up in conversations. What is it about him? Where's the leap he's taken essentially to make himself a part of this mix?
You know what? Taking advice from the vets, being able to play with guys like Jakob, Marque, and Mory, seeing them do it every single day. A guy who's hasn't played DB for long. He got here and started playing, but a guy who has great size, great speed, ball skills, and not afraid to mix it up. So you'll probably see him Saturday as well.
Okay. I want to ask you about your two youngsters as well, Therrian Alexander, Jonathan Kabeya. They're on that depth chart. They are true freshmen. What kind of role can you expect from them this season overall?
Yeah. You know what? It's kind of wait and see type deal. Okay. They're both right there. I mean, at the end of the day, they're both a play away from being in. So we got to get them prepared. We just have to. Trey presents a problem because he is a tall, lengthy guy with great speed, and Kabeya is just a natural football player. Very, very high IQ guy who knows the game, knows the route concepts, knows where to be, and makes the plays when they're presented.
All right, last thing from me, Coach. What's the best part about playing in Lavell Edwards Stadium?
The Rock, easy. For me. Okay. For me, the Rock. As soon as we walk out that tunnel, gotta love it. Hope they're there in the game. Rock, we love you. Come out, support. Go Cougs.
That is Jernaro Gilford, and Jernaro Gilford loves himself some BYU student section, a.k.a. The Rock. He is looking forward to it. I think all of us are looking forward to it. It should be a raucous environment inside Lavell Edwards Stadium on Saturday night as BYU kicks off the season. And fingers crossed that BYU's cornerbacks, obviously expecting to see Jakob Robinson prominently out there, Mory Bamba, also Marque Collins. Hopefully all of them have a good showing and they can go out there and prove that the faith that their coach has in them, and I mean, extends down, like I said, to some of the younger guys, Evan Johnson, Therrian Alexander, Jonathan Kabeya, just a few of the names we talked about. I think it gives some hope for all of them. One note, I'm sure some of you will come up with this in the show notes, if I do, not show notes, but comments. What about Marcus McKenzie, Jake? What I understand about Marcus McKenzie, he's still working his way back from injury. Now, I would expect to see him on the field maybe in some capacity on special teams on Saturday night, but he is still getting caught up. I think once he is fully healthy and 100% full go, you can expect that McKenzie, speaking of Marcus McKenzie, will be in the mix at cornerback for BYU, but for the time being, he's got ground to make up as he returns from injury. All right, once again, a big thank you to Jernaro Gilford, and a big thank you to him, but more importantly, good luck to him and his guys, because once again, it's a unit that's got a lot of bodies in it at cornerback that's got a lot to prove. They got a lot of inexperience there, and they got to obviously grow up real quick, as he talked about, but we'll see how it all goes starting Saturday night at LES.